Hey guys, welcome back to Mishmas. It is day 17, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, because we are doing a Top 5 Tuesdays. This is a collaboration that I do with my very good friend and fellow YouTuber here, the glam Dr. Mona Khan. So last year, Mona reminded me that we did like a trends video for 2018. And she did trends that needed to die, and I did trends that needed to live, trends that we liked in that year. So we're doing the same thing today for 2019. So Mona is going to be doing trends that need to die, and I'm going to be doing trends that need to live. So if you want to see trends that need to die, definitely go head on over to her channel. I'll link it down below in the description box. So I thought coming up with like 5 trends that I really enjoyed from this last year was going to be, you know, a little bit challenging, but it actually ended up being a lot easier than I thought because I really kind of liked like what was going on this year in terms of makeup. So the first trend I wanted to talk about is not necessarily a trend that I think, you know, kind of started in 2019. Obviously it did not start in 2019. And I don't even know that it necessarily like peaked in this year, but I do feel like the makeup industry is now being comprised of not just very large companies, but they're being comprised of smaller independent companies. They're being comprised of YouTuber influencers, you know, coming out with their own brands, celebrities coming out with their own brands, and makeup artists coming out with their own brands. And the one particular trend that I happen to personally appreciate the most is the makeup artist brand. And I'm wearing the Scott Barnes Color Bomb palette right now. So you'll see me kind of talk about his Color Bomb palette, do this demo, and also talk about all of his brushes in his pro set. So we'll be getting into that on Sunday. Definitely subscribe down below if you're interested, or just keep an eye out for this video. It is coming. But I really like it when I see makeup artists create their own lines. Lisa Eldridge with her lipsticks, I think that has been such a smashing success. I love her lipsticks. I think in the world of lipstick, to do something kind of unique and different is like near impossible, and yet somehow she did it. And I think it's her experience being a makeup artist, working in the makeup industry for so long, that is what allowed her to kind of create something so unique and so different. And I really like how focused, like hyper focused makeup artist brands generally are. Like Lisa Eldridge right now, she just has lipsticks, like that is her thing, and she's coming out with them like, you know, really slowly, no big splash. She doesn't have this like big corporation behind her. I love that. You know, one of my favorite brands is Surratt, and that's created by Troy Surratt. And that's another one. It's a brand that has such a strong aesthetic. Like if you like Surratt, if you like that aesthetic, it's like you're just gonna like everything that he comes out with. Pat McGrath is another one. She's just very editorial. She always comes out with really bright eyeshadows. The quality is great. And I just love that like makeup artists know what they like. You know, they like what they like. They know what they like to work with. And it comes across through the products. I really appreciate that Patrick Ta, another, you know, very successful makeup artist, coming out with his own line that I think is very successful. It's in Sephora. People love the blushes. I love his lip glosses personally. People love that like body oil, the shimmer body oil, and all of that is like very Patrick Ta, just like super glowy, super like lit from within. And I personally really like that. I feel like when it comes to like larger makeup brands that are backed by corporations, I think they have a very strong aesthetic in terms of their packaging. But in terms of their products, they're kind of all over the place. I think about Too Faced, like they're all very identifiable. Like Too Faced packaging can never really be mistaken for any other company's packaging, at least in my book. It's like, it's so identifiable, but I never can really tell like what the vision is behind a collection. Like where exactly were they going with it, aside from it, you know, like smelling like chocolate or looking like a chocolate bar, but like what are we doing here? Like I never feel like there's a very strong sort of like artistic vision when it comes to those larger brand collections or the larger brands in general. And that's what I really enjoy about companies that are created by makeup artists. And in fact, Danessa Myricks is a brand I really want to try. She's a fabulous makeup artist. I love all of her work, and she has just such interesting products. I feel like they're products that are really multi-use, and when there's multi-use products, I never know where to start with them, but I really want to try some of her stuff. And if you guys are interested in her line, like I am, please let me know down below in the comment section, because I will pick up some of the stuff and do like, maybe try and do like a full face or something. So anyway, that is one trend or one thing I would like to see kind of continue on in 2020 and beyond. So another trend that I feel like is really, really peaking in 2019 is the shimmery blush. I feel like when I started YouTube or started getting back into makeup back in like 2004, I don't remember now, 14, 15, and I started really watching YouTube in like 2015, 16. I feel like most blushes were matte and most people really liked matte blushes. You know, the whole matte look was really in. I personally I have dry skin, so I really like shimmery products, especially face products. And I remember not really having a hard time finding a shimmery blush. They definitely existed, but it was more like half and half, where I feel like now every blush release is pretty much a shimmery blush. And I'm just gonna hold this one up as an example. This is the latest Hourglass Ghost blush palette. These are incredibly shimmery blushes because they're all like marbleized with their ambient lighting powders, and I love it. Like, I couldn't be happier with this blush palette, with the whole blush trend of shimmery, at least satiny kind of blushes. I feel like even blushes that I see now that they may look matte, they're actually kind of satin. Like, there's always like a little something to them, and I couldn't be happier. So I hope that trend lives on in 2020. And in a similar vein, lips. I am definitely liking this trend that we're kind of moving away from that matte liquid lipstick. And I really gave those the college try. I remember getting which ones did I try? I tried the Ofra ones. I tried the Jouer ones. And while I think those were probably as comfortable as you could get them, they're a matte liquid lipstick, so they just weren't comfortable. They just dried up my already very dry lips, and they just were not for me. And I feel like I've just been like counting down the days until that trend dies. And I feel like this past year, like, we're really seeing a lot of lip gloss. We're really seeing a lot of like liquefied lipsticks, like not necessarily glosses, but like pigmented kind of like liquid, actual liquid lipsticks, not matte liquid lipsticks. And I'm loving it. Like, I love, love, love the M Cosmetics True Glosses. I'm also a big fan of those like super moisturizing, like sheer, but like tinted balms. Like, I love those. And I know so many, every time I haul them, I always get a comment like, what a waste of money. Like, why would you even spend money on that? And I'm like, but I know I'm gonna wear it. I know to most people, it seems like, why bother? Like, there's just like no color payoff. No one can see what you're wearing on the lips. Like, what's the point? But I know with lip products like that, I will wear them all the time. Like, they're always in my purse. I always throw them on. They're easy, they're low maintenance. They're like the kind of makeup I really, really love, especially with lips. I feel like between eating and drinking and talking or whatever, constantly reapplying, they're constantly fading. And I just like when they're on the sheer side. Otherwise, when they fade, it's so, so obvious. And when I have to reapply, it's this whole ordeal. And in practicality terms, I don't have the patience for that. I don't have the time for that. So I'm a huge fan of those tinted lip balms, lip glosses, liquefied lipsticks. Like, I just really, really love that. And I hope that trend really continues on in 2020. I don't know if I could ever go back to those matte liquid lipsticks. I just, ooh. And next is an eye trend. And I think, you know, just like the straight up neutral eyes is back. I feel like we obviously did the warm eye trend, right? We lived through that. We lived hard through that. The Sunset palette, the Modern Renaissance palette, like, we had a lot of warm toned palettes. Not that I think those are going away by any means, but I think we swung kind of hard maybe last year and starting the year before that with cooler eye palettes. Like, I'm thinking of the Kevyn Aucoin Nude Pop and the Natasha Denona Lila palette. And, you know, and we did a lot of cool, but I feel like right now we've swung back a little bit and we're all kind of appreciating like the neutral eye palette, like the eyeshadow that just kind of goes with any lip color, with any coloring, with any eye color, just like straight up neutral eyeshadows. I just appreciate that so much. I mean, I love a good warm look. I love a good, like, really cool gray tone look. I love those, but there's nothing more like low maintenance. And I just got through talking about how much I appreciate low maintenance, but there's nothing more low maintenance than like neutral eyeshadows. And not everything is like perfectly neutral. I'm just gonna hold up the Scott Barnes palette as an example. Like, this just rings neutral to me. Obviously there are colors in here that go a little bit warmer on the spectrum, ones that are a little bit cooler on the spectrum. But in general, it's like we're riding down the middle and just kind of going back and forth instead of swinging really, really hard towards warm or cool. I just think they're colors that are easier to use, easier to like create an eye look. And again, like they just work with so many different skin tones. It's just easy. It's just really, really easy. So I'm really appreciating seeing like more neutral toned palettes. Okay, and the last trend that I hope really, really thrives in 2020, it definitely did not start in 2019, but I think it's definitely picking up some steam. And that is like just the fancy lipstick case. I don't know what else to call it, but House of Sillage has been coming out with the most incredible lipstick cases ever. This is one that they did with Christian Cowan, the fashion designer. They're refillable and they have enameling, they have Swarovski crystals. Absolutely love it. Bond number 9, the perfume house, has come out with lipsticks in this like amazing refillable case. These are absolutely gorgeous. Guerlain has been doing their whole lipstick case thing for a while now, but you can buy the case and the lipstick separately and you can just pick whichever one you want. And this has like a mirror on the inside. So that's a lot of fun. Charlotte Tilbury came out with these lipstick cases that are refillable. And then last but not least is actually something that I meant to mention in my gift guide and it just slipped my mind, but the La Bouche Rouge lipstick cases. Actually, let me hold up a different one. It'll show off the leather better. So these are all like leather encased lipsticks. These are all refillable. And the lipsticks themselves are, I believe they're vegan. I think they use like all natural ingredients. I've heard a couple people talk about how these lipsticks actually go bad kind of quickly, but I think that unfortunately is just the result of like all natural preservative-free kind of lipstick formulas. But while the lipsticks are good, they're really, really beautiful. They're super comfortable on the lips, but this case is amazing and you can actually get your initials engraved in there. So I was getting these engraved at Barney's. Rest in peace. I feel like I'm gonna keep saying that for a while, but rest in peace, Barney's. But you can actually order these from La Bouche Rouge and request engraving. But isn't that cool? I have this color, I have this black color. Of course, this is the one I purchased first. And then I also have this red color. But La Bouche Rouge was kind enough in sending me their 3 new colors for this season. I hauled this a while ago, and this is what I actually meant to talk about in the gift guide, because this is like a baby pink. It's a soft pink, like a ballet pink. It's so pretty. This is, let me hold it up next to the red so you can see the difference. But this is like a raspberry pink. So this one has like a little bit more blue in there than the regular red. And then this beautiful, this one could be my favorite. This is like a beautiful oxblood color. But anyway, I'll have links down below in my description box for these lipsticks. Again, I meant to mention these in the gift guide and just completely spaced. But these are definitely some of my favorite lipstick cases for sure. And they're real fancy without being quite as ostentatious as these House of Sillage ones. So if you know someone that's a little bit more, I don't know, subdued or classic in their style, this would make a great gift, or obviously a wonderful gift for yourself. So anyway, back to the trend. I really am digging this like fancy lipstick case trend. I just think they're so much fun. You know, lipsticks and compacts, those are probably the 2 things that you take out in public the most. I don't really see a lot of people like applying eyeshadow like on a park bench or on the subway, but you definitely see people reapplying lipstick in public. And I just think it's so nice to have like a really like beautifully adorned lipstick case. I just think they're so much fun. So those are the 5 trends that I would like to see thrive in 2020. So definitely comment down below with some trends that you would love to see live on in 2020. And don't forget to check out the Glam Dr. Mona Khan. I cannot wait to see what she comes up with that needs to die. She's so funny. So definitely check out her video. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.